Okay, well, for this song specifically, obviously a huge EPMD fan, and love Erick Sermon for not only his rhymes but his production too. He's definitely one of my favorites. So it was a goal to try to get Erick Sermon on. I didn't really know Erick Sermon. I knew PMD, but I got a chance to meet up with him and talk to him. And it was excellent because he kind of dug what I was doing. I told him, about the other albums and who I had on it. And he was down with recording. I told him, like the beat's going to be, something similar to like what you guys would have rhymed on back in the day. It's not, it's not trying to make a new sounding record. It's something that's, sounds EPMD-ish to me. And he was totally with it. He understands I'm trying to make the hardcore hip hop, and he did his verse, no problem. It was exactly what I wanted. And then at that point, I didn't know who I was going to get on the song yet, and. Yeah, I always, of course, I always get Rahzel on my projects, but I usually get Rahzel beatboxing. And this time around, he's also super talented MC, and not everybody's, always aware of like, what he can do on the mic, and they expect him to beatbox every time. So this time I was like, Rah, like you're gonna do a verse on this one, and then I told him I got room on the Erick Sermon song, and he was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely, it's Erick Sermon, of course, I'd love to get on that. So I got Rahzel, and then I was like, I need somebody else who's going to fit this. I was like, okay, I didn't record with Buckshot. Let me get Buckshot. He'll sound perfect on this with these guys. And I let Buckshot know. So him and Rahzel actually recorded. It was either the same day or within a day from each other. And so that's why they mentioned each other, because they already had knew that they were going to be on it and who was going to be on. Erick Sermon was on it first, so he didn't know that the other guys, so he didn't mention them. But yeah, it was. It's also once again just trying to see who fits the vibe of like that style of beat and that era of stuff, and they both nailed it. And I was happy to get Rahzel to rhyme on this one, not just just beatboxing. Of course, I've been with him for so long, and working with him it's interesting because as far as rhyming, I don't really get into. I just let him do what he does. He writes his rhymes and rhymes. And as far as the beatbox stuff in the studio, it's cool because I can kind of throw stuff out there, and he can just kind of do anything. So it's awesome. He could be in the vocal booth and just doing something, and you'd be like, yeah, maybe throw like a, like some kind of like humming, like harmonizing thing, and it just comes out. Like he's just, yeah, it's like if I could talk to my NPC, and just be like, yeah, just make a bass line, and he just, it's really awesome. And being around Rahzel, what's really cool is all the van rides and all the sound checks where he does stuff that he just doesn't normally do in public. And it's just incredible to be able to just to see the stuff that he could really do. It's awesome because there's a lot of stuff that he works on and tests out that he just doesn't do in the shows. And, for whatever reason, I guess he's just saving stuff, or he's just, whatever, it just, that's his thing. And I got to see all of this stuff, and it was like when we were touring with Supernatural, and we'd just be hanging in the hotel, and he just decides to freestyle for like 2.5 hours straight. And I'm just sitting there just soaking it all up. We're just hanging in the room, and he just whatever, something's on TV, and he just started rhyming, and it's like, wow. Or sound checks with those guys where I'm like, why am I not videotaping the sound checks? Like, just doing full routines in the sound check, and you're never going to see it again because they just made it up. And it's like, I got to see it, but oh man, like people need to see this. So that's what's really, really cool about being around those guys. Rahzel is just a very rare talent. There's a lot of people that beatbox that are great, but his background, where he comes from, and what he knows, like his hip hop knowledge and that low end that he gets in his beatbox, that a lot of the guys, it's very high pitched stuff. Like his low end and them hard drums that he does, it's just a very, very rare thing. And I'm just blessed to be around it, and I soak up every second of it. And I do have a lot of good video footage that people would kill to see.